Very excited now because I've been joined in the studio by our BBC Introducing Artist of the Week. Elliot Wilson's here.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. Thanks so much for having me in.
You've got a beaming smile. Is this because you're happy to see me, or you're happy about the song, or you're happy that Spurs have won a European trophy? I think we need to get out of the way first. Don't turn your radios off. Elliot's a Spurs fan, and I saw in a video on his Instagram that he was wearing a Tottenham Hotspur shirt, and I'm thinking, I bet he wouldn't have won that if they had not won that trophy the other day.
No, I've hardly changed out of Spurs shirts since Wednesday. I've been on a proper high.
Well, I'm happy for you. That's all I'll say. Thank you. Good vibes only here. But we're not here to talk about football. We're here to talk about your music, and we've got brand new music for you, which we'll get to in a minute. But take me back, Elliot. Take me back to when it all started, because you've been sending BBC Introducing music for a couple of years now.
Yeah. I was trying to. I think I've had seven or eight songs now that Dean has very kindly played on the BBC Introducing show in the East Midlands. But yeah, the song that's on today is the first single from my third EP. I've been writing and releasing stuff for a good few years now. But I really, it's easy to say it every time, but I really feel like this stuff is a step up from the last. I think I've always been kind of proud of where I've been at, but I feel like I've kind of come on a long way since the last stuff. So I was super excited to get to share this song on the radio and chat about it.
I think a lot of people do say that, like, every time. And they can't always be right, but I think that probably comes with added confidence you get as time passes.
Yeah, I think so. And for me, I think as well, I feel as if I've found a sound, like really found a sound. I think it sounds a little bit of a cliche again, but I think I spent the first couple of years as a songwriter and a recording artist releasing my music, just finding a sound, and I experimented with loads of different stuff. But now I've kind of landed on something that I really like, a kind of genre that I really love to write.
It always intrigues me finding a sound, especially when, I think even if you're not a musician, you grow up listening to all sorts of music, and you have different tastes, and they can be so diverse. I've looked at a list of your influences, and it's a who's who of brilliant musicians, really. Coldplay, Paul McCartney, Brian Wilson, the Beatles. One name sticks out, though, and you've given him a special mention as well. Gary Barlow.
Yes.
I'm not laughing.
Yeah.
He's a very talented man.
Yeah.
What is it about Gary Barlow that inspires you, I guess?
Oh, mate, I could talk for the longest time about Gary Barlow. I think it is.
I'm on till 2. Let's do it.
It is funny because it is the one that gets the funniest looks, I think, because for a 24-year-old lad like me, having grown up in the kind of era that I did, Gary Barlow kind of fell out of fashion. It wasn't fashionable amongst my friendship group necessarily to be kind of this hardcore, dedicated Gary Barlow take that fan, but I was, because I became captivated by his songwriting, and I kind of I've read every book he's written, listened to every podcast, every interview, kind of to get into the kind of nitty gritty of kind of how he writes, what his process looks like, and I just find him a fascinating songwriter.
What era of Barlow are we talking about? Because you've just said you're 24.
Yeah.
I'm old school. I'll go back to the 90s.
Yeah.
Have you done a deep dive into his solo stuff as well?
Yeah. All the solo stuff. I've got it all on CD. I'm a CD collector as well, which is very unusual.
I'd love to. I wish I still was. I should stay true to my roots. I miss just CDs.
Yeah, they're great. Well, I drive an old banger of a car, and the only way of listening to music in it is to put a CD in. So,
have you got Open Road by Gary Barlow on CD?
I do.
That is a song for the motorway, isn't it?
It is. It's
Keep
a brilliant
on driving down
song.
that open road.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, my favourite era of Gary Barlow is probably... I like the... when I was a teenager and Take That reformed with Robbie, and they did the Progress album and the Flood and all that stuff, and it was a real moment in kind of pop culture, and that had a massive impact on me as a music fan. Seeing their whole story, all the documentaries that came with it, all the biographies that came out, reading all about it just absolutely fascinated me.
So you'd love to cross paths with him, really? That would be a bucket list.
That is the dream, and I don't think this is the first time I've said it on the radio either. But I think crossing paths. The dream would be to write a song with him. I'd love to write a song with Gary Barlow.
Listen, you've got to shoot for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Manifest it. Let's make it happen. That would be brilliant. Let's talk a bit more about you, though, and your journey and what you do. You've been playing gigs around Leicester?
I did a couple at the end of last year, and I'm looking to do a load more. So to celebrate the EP that I've got coming out later this year, I've put together a full band. We've got all the musicians together, and we're going to start rehearsing soon. And we're going to put on a live show at Big Difference music venue in Leicester. we're going to play through the whole EP as well as a load of my other kind of previously released songs as well. So that's super exciting. It'd be the first time for me playing with a full band. Everything I've done up to this point is just acoustic sets. I take my friend Sam, who's a phenomenal musician. He plays the guitar and accompanies me whilst I sing and chat a little bit about the songs and do it that way. But yeah, very excited to play with a full band later this year.
And you'll be playing a lot of new stuff as well then?
Yeah, we'll be playing this EP that I've got coming out. It's called Short Stories. The song that I suppose that we're going to listen to in a moment is called She's Leaving Town. It's the first single off of that EP. But yeah, we want to play the whole thing. There's a lot of amazing moments, kind of guitar solos and stuff that I feel will work live so well. And the musicians that I've got in the band are incredible. A lot of them wrote and actually recorded the guitar on the project, so they're playing their own parts. And yeah, really excited to hear it all come together.
Okay, tell me a little bit more about this song that we're about to play then.
So this one, it's a good way to introduce this EP, I think, because with this EP, I've tried to go far more, like I said, kind of niche down on a style and try and really get into what I think I'm good at or better at than I am at other things, which is sort of telling stories and making them kind of raw and vulnerable and honest. And a friend of mine once said to me that the songwriters that make it are one of two things. They either have this kind of star quality, they have the looks, they can dance, they have the amazing voice, you know, the Beyoncés, the Michael Jacksons, or the other kind are the ones who write music that just absolutely capture the soul and the mind of their audience with vulnerability, with relatable content, you know, with stuff that just hits people and they go back and listen to it again and again, you know, whatever kind of mood they're in or place they're in. And my friend basically said to me, that's the one you want to go for. The star quality thing, you're kind of either born with it or you're not. But the other one, you can work towards that. You can hone your skill for writing vulnerable lyrics, for writing stuff that people can relate to, things, you know, stories that are moving. And so I wanted to write songs on this EP that were really honest and raw and get into my heart a little bit, open my heart up a little bit for an audience to kind of get a look inside. And yeah, so this is the first single off of that EP, and it introduces that theme, I think, quite nicely.
Oh, what a beautiful ending, and what a beautiful song. Elliot Wilson, She's Leaving Town. Elliot, I can really hear that Gary Barlow influence.
Thank you so much. That's the biggest compliment I could possibly receive.
It's incredible, and it's off this forthcoming EP that you've got.
Yeah, that's right. So the forthcoming EP is called Short Stories. This is the lead single, She's Leaving Town. The EP is made up of 5 songs, and we're going to release each one of them as a single, and we're going to space them out by about 3 or 4 weeks. So if people kind of stick around for the next 3 or 4 weeks, they'll get the next song, and then the next, and then the next. So yeah, really excited to share the whole thing.
Plenty to look forward to then.
Yeah.
And just remind us of this gig you've got coming up.
So I'll be playing a gig at Big Difference, which is a phenomenal music venue in the city centre in Leicester. We haven't got a date for it locked in yet. We're just working on the planning stages for this event. But the best way to keep up to date with that is to go over to my Instagram, which is Elliot Wilson Music. That's Elliot with 2 L's and 1 T. Everybody always gets that one wrong. So Elliot Wilson Music on Instagram. I post all the updates on the gigs and things over there. So I'd love people to come and join me over there and come and join me for the gigs in person. Yeah, it'd be so exciting to see everybody there.
Brilliant. Well, best of luck with everything. I mean,
thank you.
If the rest of the EP, if that song's a signal to the rest of the EP, then we've got a lot to look forward to. I absolutely love that. That's Elliot Wilson. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks so much.
Mate.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.